The Ottawa-based software company Fullscript has become a near-permanent fixture on lists of the city's fastest-growing companies. This year, it's celebrating its 10th anniversary. So we'll look back at what's been driving that growth and whether it's sustainable at a time when the healthcare industry it serves is at a crossroads. That's coming up on Techopia Live. Hello and welcome to Techopia Live. I'm your host, Sherry Ask with the Ottawa Business Journal. And joining us today is the CEO of Fullscript, Kyle Braatz. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us and welcome to Techopia Live.
Thanks for having me here, Sherry.
So to start, for people who aren't familiar with Fullscript, I'm going to get you to give us your elevator pitch. How would you describe Fullscript in about 60 seconds or less?
Yeah, Fullscript is really a technology platform that powers integrative medicine. So when you think about healthcare as a whole, traditionally it's been very focused on acute care, right? Pharmaceutical or symptom equals pharmaceutical. But it's evolving to be really focused on prevention and the ongoing wellness of an individual. And that means that practitioners are really prescribing more than pharmaceuticals. They're prescribing nutrition via diet and supplementation. They're prescribing like movement via exercise and yoga. They're prescribing mindfulness and lifestyle change. And this means patients are doing more than just popping pills. They're literally changing their life in order to focus on staying well and getting better. And when you think about integrative medicine and that approach to care, it's actually really hard, right? It's hard for the practitioner to practice. It's hard for the patient to really consume integrative medicine. And Fullscript, our software platform, really focuses on making it easy. So practitioners use our software to create and develop a comprehensive treatment plan that they e-prescribe to the patient. The patient receives that protocol and that plan, and they can actually access it and fill it right from their phone with one click. We drop ship any of the products that really support that protocol, such as supplements and nutraceuticals, right to their door. And then patients can access, educational resources and other services that really support them on their path to wellness. And really the value of Fullscript is that we sit between the practitioner's protocol and the patient's success. And sitting in that position, it really allows us to focus on partnering with the practitioner on the post-visit experience. Right. So how can we keep that patient adherent to their plan through refill reminders and ongoing engagement? And really, we just supercharge that ongoing continuous engagement cycle between the practitioner and patient.
Okay. I think that's a great description. It's really like end-to-end service, and it's the software program and platform that provides it. This is your 10th anniversary.
Yep.
Go back for a second, take your mind back to 2011 and how things got started, and tell us about that. What was that like and how did it happen?
When you reflect back, a lot of these milestones, it's all about reflecting back and taking a moment. You have this gratitude of where you've gotten to, but a lot of it is like, where did you come from? And we reflect back to like three of us, sitting in our guest bedroom building this thing. But actually, a lot of where it started goes back to 2008. We actually started, when I was in university, I started a not-for-profit called Typically Canadian. It was really a charity ride to honor inspiring Canadians who battle cancer. I was actually at school and I wanted to be a firefighter. And this was kind of my first foray into entrepreneurship. We created this not-for-profit from the ground up. We built it like a business. We cycled across Canada. We raised over $150,000 for the Canadian Cancer Society. And honestly, building that thing every day, we woke up and we got excited about what we were building because we were making true impact. And one of the individuals that I worked with on that was Brad, my co-founder today with Fullscript and other entrepreneurial ventures that we've gotten into. And just the excitement and the passion of building was one thing that got us going, but it was also helping people. And we tried a couple other ventures, and we loved the building of them. But honestly, there was something missing. So as we saw success with some of the companies we created, there was always something missing, and it was that impact side. So one of the companies we started, Simple Story Videos, we ended up selling it. And Brad and I both looked at each other and said, whatever we do next has to be something we can do for the rest of our lives, something where we have that same sort of impact every single day and we feel like we're making impact. And obviously changing healthcare and changing the way health is prescribed is something that you can get out of bed every single day, helping people get better. That's something that we could get behind. And that's really one of the reasons Fullscript was born, alongside the fact that Brad's wife was actually a naturopathic doctor. And she really opened up our eyes to seeing how medicine could be different and how healthcare was evolving. And instead of us, like typical entrepreneurs, you go to solve a problem, instead of driving into the healthcare system and trying to solve a problem within the healthcare system, we really looked at where is the healthcare system evolving to and how is it evolving? And let's start solving for that future.
Yeah, it's such an interesting story how you end up on a particular path, right? Different things can influence it different way, and you guys ended up looking into healthcare. You've had, I'm sure, a number of big moments over the last 10 years, but to hone in on a few, one of the pivotal moments I know was the merger with Natural Partners in 2018. As a CEO at that time, how did you manage that?
Yeah, you know what? Part of the evolution of Fullscript is, continuing to focus on offering the best product, the best service to our customers, right? We are obsessed with building the best platform and the best end-to-end experience. And one of the missing components from that end-to-end experience was the actual fulfillment, distribution, and unboxing of the products, that we were helping fulfill and deliver within our platform. On top of that, we looked at the ability to actually improve our economics and our margin profile so that we could invest more into our platform. So it was really natural for us to actually start getting into and driving down the supply chain a little bit more. And we actually started by building out our own fulfillment and distribution capabilities. So we launched 3PLs across the US, filled with the products that we were providing via Fullscript. But ultimately, we saw the really the best opportunity was to combine our platform with the best-in-class distributor that was out there in the market, who not only brought amazing capabilities, but a huge customer base and a customer base that was really loyal. And I think that idea of being able to spearhead and accelerate our growth story, along with accelerating our user experience, along with accelerating our margin profile so we could continue to invest in our mission, it was really a no-brainer to make that work. And it's been obviously really successful to date.
What would you say the growing pains were during that time?
Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think one of the things that when you looked at the two companies that were coming together, one of the things that we both shared was I would say similar cultures with respect to the kind of humans we are and how we care about our industry and the movement we're really trying to create. There was just so much cultural alignment. But at the same time, when you bring two companies together that operate differently, one being a tech company, one being a distribution company, there's going to be challenges. And I think just working through those challenges and operationally how we differ and figuring out where we invest now that we are one company with two different identities, that was probably the biggest challenge. Again, I think the individual, the CEO of Natural Partners, Fran Tui, and myself, we had a good working relationship over the years, meeting at conferences and different events. And so there was a natural connection, but I don't think you realize how complex two cultures may be and trying to put them together really is until you go through something like this.
Yeah. And immediately, almost after that, or just a year later, you guys also had a huge influx of funding, $25 million. What did that allow the company to do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it was giving us peace of mind, right? When I think about the investments we were making every single day, we are a growth-oriented company. So it's always investing in our product and our platform, investing in adding as many practitioners to the platform as possible who add, patients to the platform. So when you think about that growth mindset, you want to be able to spend. You want to be able to spend on, like I said, practitioner acquisition, improving the platform. And, we are a profitable company. We are a cash-generating company. So it wasn't that we needed that cash and capital, but part of it was peace of mind, put that on the balance sheet so we can continue to invest aggressively without having any concerns around running low on cash.
Yeah. Kyle, I just want to take a moment, because we've been talking about Fullscript's growth, to talk about professional development and growth. We often hear about talented professionals in Ottawa looking to take their career to the next level. One of the city's top resources is the University of Ottawa, which is one of the supporters of Techopia Live. Through its professional development programs, the school is supporting the continuing education and learning of skilled professionals here in Ottawa. This was one of the driving forces behind the University of Ottawa recently setting up a Canada North campus in the heart of the city's tech hub. The school is continuing to evolve its programming to meet the needs of professionals across the region. And you can learn more at uottawa.ca. So Kyle, looking at Fullscript's growth, I mean, you can look at 3 people to 500 people. You can look at your revenue growth. You guys have been on lists of fastest growing companies in the city and in Canada, multiple times. It's all great news, but is it sustainable? And what keeps you up at night when, you've seen the success, but how do you keep it going?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think from a sustainability perspective, we're just scratching the surface with respect to how big this market is. And so when you look at our unit economics, I think they're best in class, 158% net revenue retention rate after 1 year. Our cost to acquire to lifetime value ratio is best in class, and actually probably should come down a little bit so we can accelerate our growth even further. So a lot of the infrastructure and learnings we have the best platform in the market, like all of those things allow us to continue to grow. Then you add in the tailwinds, right? You look at 60% of practitioners that are out there are starting to transition their practice to focus on prevention and well-being. Over 50% of medical schools are now teaching integrative medicine in their curriculum. You look at, 10 years ago, the integrative market was $15 billion. Today, it's over $90 billion. And so patients are flocking to integrative medicine. And so from a sustainability perspective, I think really the sky's the limit. And the only risk is really, not investing aggressively, right? I think when you think about where we've come from, 3.5 years ago, we were a $40 million business. Now we're going to do close to $300 million in revenue this year. And so we're at a major step function, and we got to continue to invest in growth. And so the biggest risk to me is not investing quickly enough. And that's why we've made decisions to add, and really beef up our executive team. So, recently we've announced the addition of Ken Taylor, CFO, Elizabeth Helkes as our Chief Commercial Officer, Heather Tyree our Chief Talent Officer. And we've really started to level up the executive team and surround a lot of the founding members of Fullscript with experienced talent that can help with the step function that we're going through right now to continue accelerating our growth.
Yeah. You talked as well about where integrative medicine is at. Do you think COVID had a role in this growth as well, in terms of just adding, fuel to the fire?
Yeah, I think there was 2 components that really helped fuel or continue to fuel this growth and this evolution. One was the idea that practitioners had to transition their practice virtually. So for us, being a virtual platform that helps a practitioner really, provide integrative medicine regardless of where they're practicing, that really accelerated that movement of practitioners adopting Fullscript and adopting telehealth. And then patients really, and consumers really saying, look, I realize how important it is to focus on prevention, to focus on my immune support and immune health. And so, I think overall, just the general nature of the world, recognizing how important prevention is and how important wellness is, really did accelerate things, on top of our already compounding growth.
Yeah, it just seems like, look at even like the last year and a half, you just can't ignore that added awareness of our own health and seeking healthcare, especially like telemedicine, as you said.
Exactly.
You guys can't be the only one doing what you do. Would you say, or who would you say, I guess, at this time is your biggest competitor, and why?
Yeah, I think we have direct and indirect competitors, right? I think the direct competitors, you look back at our model. I think our model for how we operate, we're this B2B2C company, right? We add practitioners to our platform who, treat patients and add patients, and those patients purchase, products and services, and we really support them on their path to wellness. And so when you think about the direct competitors, it's those competitors that are actually offering very similar solutions to ours. and they're focused on acquiring practitioners who are going to continue to add patients. And so those direct competitors, I think from our perspective, our competitive advantage and unfair advantage is, our model for how we acquire customers and our continued market leadership. And, we're adding 700, 800 new practitioners every month to the platform who are adding their patients. And our platform is extremely sticky, right? Because when these practitioners, we build our software right into their EHRs and their workflow, they're adding their patients. It's something they continue to use in their practice for forever when you look at a lot of our unit economics. So, part of our continued investment in adding these practitioners, our continued investment in expanding and creating more value in the platform as quick as possible really separates us from those competitors. But then you also have the indirect competitors such as Amazon, right? But when I think about indirect competitors like Amazon, they're really transactional in nature. And they're missing part of that competitive advantage, which is the practitioner, which is that relationship that we have. So we really look at the practitioner in our model and that piece as a moat. And when you start to think about our continued evolution, the fact that this year we'll process over $500 million on the platform, we feel really good about where we're positioned against indirect competitors like Amazon and the loyalty practitioners and patients have with each other, and how important that relationship commerce piece really is compared to transactional commerce.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned Amazon as sort of an indirect competitor. Who would you say the direct competitor is, or two or three?
Yeah, I would say there's companies out there like Wellevate and Carewell who are very focused on the integrative practitioner. Who, I think the interesting part about, I think Fullscript was the creator of this market, right? It's like we were the category creator of really prescribing and dispensing integrative medicine virtually, before it was all done, in office and without that virtual approach. So we created that category, and when you create a category and you create this much growth and this much movement, there's going to be continued, competitors coming out of the woodwork. And again, I think that's why for us, the market leadership, our obsession with our customers, our obsession with our model just is something that that's the biggest risk to the business, is forgetting all of those things and resting on our laurels. So, we always say that at Fullscript, we're just getting started. And, 10 years later, 500 new teammates, $300 million in revenue, we feel like we're just getting started.
Okay. I think that's a great place to end it at, looking, straight ahead into the future and what's next. Looking forward to following it. Kyle, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Before we go, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, without whom this show would not be possible. Number Crunch, offering virtualized CFO services for SaaS companies. Hurley Robertson, Hill & McDougall, a leader in business and tech law. TD Bank, with specialized programs for tech firms. The University of Ottawa Faculty of Engineering, creating the next generation of technical talent. And Stratford Managers, providing services to help you scale your tech venture. Techopia is not just a great show. We are also online with new articles daily at ovj.ca/Techopia. If you are on Facebook or Twitter, you can follow us. Our handle is at TechopiaOTT. If you are on YouTube, please subscribe, hit the like button, or you can leave a comment down below. And that is it for this episode. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll be back soon with another episode of Techopia Live.